Shalom everyone and welcome back. This is Israeli EDC, where we talk mostly about flashlights and Swiss Army knives, but today I have this awesome Micro EDC kit that I threw together for just a quick grab and go. Whenever I want to leave the house and just grab one thing all in one in a single pocket, or just throw this in my sling bag and leave the house, this is what I reach for. And today I want to share everything that's in it and why I think it's awesome and why some of you might like it. But there are two versions of this kit, and that's the reason you see a couple of Victorinoxes here and a battery here and a flashlight here, because at the end of the video I'm going to share the second version, which some of you might prefer. Before we dive into that, let me just tell you about my brand new Instagram account. The handle is Israeli EDC, and you're more than welcome to click the link in the description box and just jump over there and give it a quick follow. Now, let's get into the kit. The pouch is from a company called Kosibate, and I'm just going to pull out the tweezers real quick. We're going to talk about these in a minute. You can see here the name of the company that makes the pouch. It's a relatively nicely made pouch. I don't have any complaints so far. I've had this for a while. I've actually made a different video about a different kit a while back. So if you're interested in that, just scroll through my channel, you'll get there. Now, let's talk about the tweezers. I'll try to have links to everything, but I make no promises because this is from like a local store here in Israel. I'm not sure where you're gonna find a pair of tweezers, and these are hardcore tweezers. These are like heavy duty kind of tweezers. They're really, thick and, they're heavy duty. And on the flip side of that, you have a beard comb. So, it says laser sharpening. I'm not sure what that means. And that's maybe the brand of it. Tweezy, what does it say? Tweezy Solenoin? I don't know. Anyways, these are the tweezers. I use the tweezers to tidy up my beard, and I use the comb to brush up my beard. So there's that. I'm just going to put these aside. The pen is next. This pen is from Zebra. It's a Zebra pen, and it's kind of a pull pen. It's a telescoping pen. You pull it apart, and then the tip comes out, and then it gets more comfortable to write with. You can actually write with this mini pen. And when you're done writing, just squeeze it back together, and there you go. So it, compresses into this tiny little pen. I'll try to find a link, on Amazon to the pen. Next up is the flashlight of choice, and the reason I have this AAA looking battery right there is because I've actually put a 10440 battery inside this Olight. So this is the battery. It's a 10440 lithium ion battery, 320 milliamp hours, 3.7 volts. So this Olight i3T usually runs on AAAs, and I actually have a full video review on this Olight. So if you're interested, a link will be waiting for you down in the description box below. This is the i3T EOS in black, obviously. The reason I put the 10440 in it is instead of getting like 180 lumens on high, which is what this flashlight is supposed to do, so this is low, and this is high. So this is not 180 lumens. This is far, far more. I'm not sure how many. I don't have one of those fancy lumen tubes, but you can find information on YouTube as to what happens when you throw a 10440 in an Olight i3T. It goes to somewhere around the 250 to 300 lumen mark. So it turns this tiny flashlight into a beast. Well, not a beast, but almost twice as bright as it should be. It kind of runs hot, but that's okay because I'm not using it for prolonged episodes. I'm just looking for something, and then I'm done, and then I throw it back in the kit. So this goes there. We're gonna flip to the other side. I have a phone stand because I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. So I have this cool card that turns into a phone stand. You just do this. Let me just, I'll show you. You do this. How does this work? Oh yeah, you do this right there. And now it's a phone stand. So if I put this aside, you put this on the table, you open up this little flap right here. You see that? So now you're flat on the table like this, and your phone can sit over here. I'm just gonna use this cigarette box right there. So now your phone stands like this, or like this. Know what I'm saying? That's it. So that's the card. That's like a phone stand that I sometimes use whenever I can't use my sunglasses to just lean my phone against or something. I'll use this to watch a few YouTube videos. Behind that, on the same pocket, in the same pocket, right here are just Band-Aids. So I carry a couple of Band-Aids, I carry a alcohol pad, and I think this is it for that. Yeah, so I have alcohol pads, I have a couple of Band-Aids, just for, you know, small scrapes and cuts and whatever. And that's all on the outside. Now we go inside. I have a Victorinox Cadet right here. So you all know the Cadet. This is one of Victorinox's slimmer knives right here. Try to focus on that. So yeah, there you go. So it's a 2-layer Victorinox Alox knife. We'll quickly go over the functions. You got the basic opening layer, so you got a couple of tools here which are actually multi-functions. So you have the can opener on this side, the bottle cap lifter on this side. The can opener has a 3mm flathead screwdriver on top, and the bottle cap lifter has a 6mm flathead on top. You also have a wire stripping notch right here, if we can focus. Yeah, there you go. You have a wire stripping notch which I've never used. The can opener doesn't have a half stop. It just goes all the way to open, and then you close it. I use the can opener mostly as a very sharp, very narrow pry tool. So that part right there is extremely sharp and very thin, so I use this as either a scraper or a pry bar, like a very light duty pry bar. And the can opener is much sturdier. Sturdier? Yeah, that's a word. So it is much sturdier, and it does lock in the half position, in the 90-degree position, and it does open all the way up. And it's a very capable bottle cap lifter, but it's also a very capable screwdriver slash light duty pry bar. So you see how it's thin right there? So you can use this as a pry bar. And the knife itself, obviously the blade, the main blade on a Victorinox knife, these are beautiful blades. It's very thin, very sliced. You can barely see it right there. It's a very, very capable blade. Obviously it doesn't lock, it's a slip joint. And the last tool on the Cadet is the nail file and nail cleaner, which I do use a lot. Now, this is an old version of the Cadet. So you get the old version nail file. The new version looks like this. On the Sportsman, you can see the newer version. So it's just lines across. You see that? So that's the new version of the Victorinox nail file, but we'll get to the Sportsman in a minute. We're just going to continue talking about the Cadet real quick. So I use the nail file all the time, and I use the tip to get underneath my nails. I don't have like long nails or anything. They're mostly kept neat. But I also use this as a Phillips screwdriver. So this is the multi-tool of choice here in this kit, and we're gonna set this aside right there. Next up, next to that is a eyeglass screwdriver, and we're gonna talk about why in just a minute. But this is just, you know, a very, very cheap, inexpensive eyeglass screwdriver from Amazon. You just unscrew that, and here you can see, if I can focus on that, you have a tiny, tiny Phillips screw head right there, screwdriver. Maybe we can do that so you can focus a bit better. Yep, there you go. So you have a tiny, tiny Phillips screwdriver right there. You close that up and we open the other side to reveal the very, very tiny flathead screwdriver right there. So you have both a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver in this tiny form factor, which lives right here next to my cadet, right? Right. So we put this aside. Now, behind that, in the back pocket, I carry toothpicks. And we're going to talk about why I carry toothpicks in a minute. So these are disposable. These are like a pack of 10 that you buy, and it comes like this. It looks like this. So you see how it's kind of bendy and all, you know, flimsy? That's because you separate these. So you grab one, you separate it, and now you have a toothpick. And it's disposable. You use it once and you obviously toss it away. And I use these all the time. And these come in a pack of 4 packs. So you buy a box of 4 packs. And I'm not sure where you guys can get them, but this is the name, you know. I get these at a chain of stores that's called Super Farm, which is like, I guess, the American equivalent of CVS. So if you have a CVS near where you live, you might find these disposable toothpicks. So I just buy these, I use one, I obviously toss it to the trash, and then I put the rest of them back inside, right there. So this is it. This is everything that's in this kit. It's all empty now. And now we're going to talk about why I have these outside. We actually did talk about the battery, so I can put it aside, but we're going to talk about the second version of this kit. So if I want to put everything back together again inside, in the second version, there are going to be some changes. The Cadet is very limited as far as what I'm using it for. And that's the reason I have the Sportsman out. Because the Cadet is the ALOX version. The ALOX version doesn't have scale tools. Sorry about that. And it doesn't have any tools on the back. So there are no tools on the back side of any ALOX version Victorinox. Unlike the Sportsman. And the reason I have the Sportsman out is the Sportsman and the Cadet have the exact same tool set on front. So both have the bottle cap lifter and the can opener, both have a blade, both have the nail file, which you just saw. But the Sportsman also has tools on the back and also has the scale tools. So we'll quickly just run over the tools real quick because you already saw most of them. So this is the nail file. I actually use the nail file a lot. I prefer this version of nail file, and I also use the nail cleaner, and I also use the tip as a Phillips screwdriver. Next up is the blade. The blade on the Victorinox Sportsman is very, very capable. You can see it's quite used because this is one of my favorite Swiss Army knives out of everything that I own. I really, really like the Sportsman because look at it. It's so slim and nice and very, very capable. Next up is the can opener, which, as I said, I use mostly as a pry bar, a very light duty scraper, and a 3mm flathead. Other side of that is the bottle cap lifter, which we've talked about. 6mm flathead bottle cap lifter, wire stripping notch, which I've never used. And now we get to the fun part. Scale tools. I have a pair of tweezers in here. So these are very capable tweezers, although they don't seem like it. Come on, focus. I use the tweezers all the time to, you know, just pluck out a hair out of my beard. So I use the tweezers and I use the toothpick. Yes, I do use the toothpick on my Swiss Army knife. Deal with it. You know, I do clean it. I use it and then I wash it and then I dry it off and then I put it back where it belongs. So I actually use it sometimes twice a day. I do use the toothpick on my Swiss Army knife. The reason I'm telling you that is because if I choose to put the Sportsman in the kit instead of the Cadet, that basically eliminates the need of carrying these disposable toothpicks. So we're now going to put these away. And kind of also eliminates the need for carrying a separate pair of tweezers. Although I do use the comb, but let's say I find a comb that is just this part. I can give up the tweezers. So we're going to put these aside and we're going to put the Cadet aside. Now, we're also going to give up the dedicated eyeglass screwdriver because you have back tools on the Sportsman, which means you can use, I'm just gonna pull out my micro screwdriver from my compact over here. You can take the micro screwdriver and put it in the wine corkscrew on the back of the Sportsman, and now you have a dedicated eyeglass screwdriver, which is exactly the same one you find on the cheaper, this guy right here, except, you know, it's a higher quality flathead screwdriver for eyeglasses, which my wife has eyeglasses. Sometimes she needs me to, you know, tighten up a screw or something, and I'll use this. She doesn't wear them all the time. It's mostly for office use, but still, she has eyeglasses, and sometimes we need to tighten up the screws. And I have sunglasses, and sometimes I need to tighten up the screws. So this lives here. Next to that is the all-time favorite Awl by Victorinox. So Awl, punch, reamer, whatever you want to call it. You can sew things with it. I usually use it to put holes in things, and I use this very, very sharp edge to open packages and boxes and everything that has tape on it, and I just don't want to get all tape residue on my main blade, you know. So I try to keep the main blade as clean as possible because I do use the big blade for food prep. So I open packages with the Awl because it's extremely sharp, like this edge right here. This edge is extremely sharp. And I also use it to put holes in things, you know, leather, plastic, sometimes just belts or straps or whatever. I use this. So, assuming we're going to go with the Sportsman when we reassemble the kit, we're giving up the eyeglass screwdriver, we're giving up the Cadet, and we're giving up these separate toothpicks, and we're giving up the tweezers. So we lose these 4 things, but we throw in the Sportsman. So let's do it. Move aside. So we're gonna start right here on the back. We're gonna take the alcohol pads with the phone stand thingy, and we're gonna shove everything right here on the back side, like so. Now we're going to move to the front. We're going to take the Sportsman, we're going to throw it right here, and we're going to leave the pocket dangler suspension clip thingy over there. Now we're going to close this because we don't need to put anything here in the bag because we lost it. Remember, we threw it over there, the toothpicks and everything. So we're going to click this. We're going to click this. We're going to throw in the pen right here, and now we have a choice. We can put the Olight i3T in, or we can take this Nitecore TiKi, which I've also reviewed in the past. You can go check it out. This is the Nitecore TiKi. It goes out to 300 lumens. You tap it once, nothing happens, but you tap it twice, it comes on low, and then you tap it one more time, it goes to medium, one more time, goes to high, one more time, circles back. Oh, this is the highest, so we have four different levels, and one more time it goes back, circles down to the low. Long press to turn it off. If you want to get to turbo mode, you just hold and click and hold to get to turbo. There it is, 300 lumens. If you want to get to the side lights, the auxiliary lights, you just triple tap. So now you're in UV mode. One more click will go to the white mode. And one more click will go to the higher level white mode. Oh no, that's the beacon mode, I'm sorry. So it has a single level white mode. And one more time back to the ultraviolet. So there it is. So long press to turn it off. So you could go with the Nitecore TiKi if you choose to, instead of throwing in the Olight i3T. And I just put like this twist tie here, but you can obviously use a more fancy lanyard. Although I do prefer the twist tie, because then you also have a twist tie if you need it. So you throw that in there, and now you have a complete kit. You know, you got your flashlight, you got your pen, you got your multi-tool right there. You got on the back the phone holding card stand thingy, and behind that you have a couple of bandages and a alcohol wipe. Now, you could go even smaller than that if you choose to give up the Sportsman and instead throw in the Rambler. So the Rambler is much like the Victorinox Classic, except it has one more tool, one more trick up its sleeve, which is this guy, the bottle cap lifter slash Phillips screwdriver, which is also magnetic. I don't recommend relying on that cap lifter because it doesn't open bottles that well. You know, it kind of sucks. You do carry the Rambler for the Phillips head screwdriver because it's very useful. It's a number 1 Phillips, and it lives right here next to the main blade, which is tiny, but it's useful, you know? So it's a useful blade, and on the other side you have the Victorinox nail file with the flathead on top. So you see it has a flathead, yeah, on top of the nail file, and next to that you have the Victorinox scissors, which is the main reason you might want to consider throwing this in the kit instead of the Sportsman or the Cadet, because now you have the Victorinox scissors in your pocket, which is phenomenal. The Victorinox scissors are great. You also obviously get the scale tools, which is the toothpick and the tweezers. So if you wanted to go extra small and gain the scissors, you just throw this little guy in there and throw the kit and close the kit. So now you move this out of the way, you move this out of the way. This is what you're left with. You're left with a very slim, very easy to carry, you know, it goes in your pocket, no problem whatsoever. And you also have everything you need. You got your pen, you got your flashlight, you got your multi-tool right there. You got an empty pocket if you want to throw a couple of dollars in there, you know, just maybe even a credit card or a debit card. Just throw it in there, close it up. On the back side, you have room for more cards if you wanted to. If you want to skip the phone holder thingy, you got room for bandages and the alcohol wipe, which is always good to have. You know, there you go. There's your kit. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think about both versions. What would you go with? Would you keep the Victorinox Cadet alongside everything else? You know, you need the toothpicks. You need toothpicks. You need the small screwdrivers like the micro screwdrivers. You need the tweezers. You need the beard comb. And you obviously need the tool. Which version would you go with? Would you throw in the Olight i3T or would you keep the Nitecore TiKi? You know, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Which version would you choose to carry in your pocket or in your sling bag? Thank you all so much for watching this. This is Israel EDC, and I would appreciate it if you guys follow the channel and follow my Instagram account and give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe and comment down below your thoughts on this specific kit. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, adios.